Howdy everybody, Steve here, KM9G. Today we're going to make an end-fed half-wave. This comes to me from Jonathan, KM4CFT, and it's a little teeny tiny kit. Let's go check it out. More kits. I love me some kits. This is the KM4CFT end-fed half-wave. And this takes inspiration from K6ARK Atom by Jonathan to make a different kind of kit. And I like this. This seems like it is a still very small kit. Can't even get the bag open, but slightly less stressful kit. Come on, open up. I'm gonna have to resort to some drastic measures here in a second. Okay, if the Ziploc bag is smarter than you are, this might not be the kit for you. There are instructions at radiodan.com/PDF. You get a BNC connector, a tiny PCB, a capacitor, a tiny toroid, some poly-stealth wire for your antenna lead and your counterpoise lead, some shrink tubing, and some very, very tiny magnet wire. So as you can tell by the size of this, this is definitely destined for QRP work. Toroid goes there, BNC goes there, capacitor goes there, and then when you're done, it all gets all shrunken up. And on the circuit board, it has antenna labeled on one side and counterpoise labeled on the other. So if you are looking at this thing from the BNC end, then your antenna is on the right, right? That's where you want the antenna, right? All right, Jonathan recommends starting off by cutting your antenna wire in half. So while I'm fiddling with this, y'all go cut your antenna wire in half. So you have 3 inches on each side. You want to be very careful to not kink your magnet wire up. All right, let's take this. Let's turn our soldering iron on and let that warm up. We'll put our antenna wire in, and there is some built-in strain relief on the PCB for this. That worked out pretty well. I think I'll do it the same way the next time. All right, she's warming up, and this is way too hot from the last time I used it. So I will shrink it down to 640. Next step up is winding that toroid, everybody's favorite part. Measure about 3 inches of wire. This is my measuring grid. Each one of these blocks is 1/2 inch. So 1, 2, 3 is right there. Form a bend, not a kink. And Jonathan doesn't say to twist the wire, so we will do it without twisting the wire. So we're going to leave about yay much exposed, maybe 1.5 inches or so. And that is our first pass right there. We're going to take those wires again, and both of those wires through is our second pass. And we'll do it one more time for our third and final pass of the doubled up wire. All right, that worked out pretty well. He gives you some measurements for doing 80, 40, and 20 and up. I am going to run this on 20 and up. That's me. 80 you want 3 to 24, for 40 you want 3 to 21, and for 20 you want 3 to 19. Jonathan prefers 3 to 21, which is for 40 meters. I prefer 3 to 19 for 20 and up. We already have the first 3 on, so we need to do 16 more turns. So 16, 17, 18, 19 will get us our 3 to 19. So there is... And my first couple of turns were loose, which doesn't really matter, but that would have enabled me to get more wraps out of that same wire if I had wanted more wraps out of that same wire. All set. All right, let's get our circuit board back and figure out how we're going to get this thing on there. All right, it's labeled ground in and out, and if you lay it down with the ground that comes through the bottom and the in and out that come through the top, on top of the circuit board, it will go into the right holes almost automatically, especially if you don't drop the toroid. We've got that one, and then this is the inside, which is part of your doubled up primary wraps, so that way you know which one is which. Might need to use some needle nose pliers here to coerce these into going into the proper holes, make your life a little bit easier. I prefer a difficult life, so I will do it by bare hands and swearing. There are many ways to, let's get those needle nose pliers out of the way. You didn't need to see that. There are many ways to get, my soldering iron went to sleep. There are many ways to get the enamel off of the magnet wire. We'll just keep trying to say that. I'm going to use the burn method. You may need to turn your soldering iron up for this. But what happens when you use the burn method is you can actually just watch the solder and you will see that the solder has changed. And it also kind of smells like Band-Aids. All right, next up is the capacitor. It's a 100 picofarad capacitor and it should have no directionality at all. Turn that back down from where we were with melting magnet wire. All right. Last things last would be the BNC. What I'm going to do with the BNC is I am going to tack on the center pin and then verify that it is mounted the way that I want it mounted, and then tack on another piece and double check that it still looks the way I want it to look by reheating the solder and dropping it down onto the board. And then we will get the last piece and be good to go. That's still hot. All right, and if we did this right, then the center pin and the shield should be connected because that's how end-fed half waves work. And that should be connected. That should be connected. And all that should be connected. We are good to go. Pretty snazzy. Half the fun of QRP is being slightly frustrated when you build the project, right? I could have used some more light. I could have used some better magnification. My eyes are getting a little old, so take that warning from this old guy and subscribe for more pro tips from TO. There will be a link in the description down below where you can get the instructions for this kit and the kit itself. The next steps for building an antenna like this is to put some wire on it and get it tuned. I've got a video right here that shows you how to do that. Thanks for being awesome. I'll see you over there.